So like and share this episode. And I'm back on this Monday afternoon in the great state of North Carolina. Coming at you, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a few minutes with me, and I appreciate that. So when you come in, tell me where you're from and share this video. Even if you're looking at the playback, share the video. And tell me where you're from. I'm always curious to know where people from. And hit that like button. I'm always curious to know where people from when they come in. You know, because I know people from all over the world, from all walks of life. People are into a lot of different things. You know, some people are just trying to get started. Some people are trying to make more money. Some people want to know how to take things to the next level. So everybody's in a different place when it comes to being online, for the most part. You know? So today, man, I wanted to talk about, excuse me. I'm going to talk about how to get more attention online, how to write better, how to speak better, how to get attention. That's the biggest. That's a critical skill that you must have if you want to make it online. How you gonna get people's attention? And how you gonna keep their attention? That's a challenge for most people online. And a lot of this depends on someone usually has to tell you or show you how to do this. And it's not just an online thing. It doesn't apply to just being online. It just applies to just living life. My mother taught me how to speak and write when I was growing up. And all I did is apply those same skills to being online. I had to make adjustments, of course, because you know, every website has their own policies and rules. But at the end of the day, there's certain things that apply to everybody. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yeah, at the end when you're writing, when you're writing and speaking online or doing anything online, or if you have a blog or website, anything like that, you just have to be a human being. The first thing you gotta do. Be yourself. Don't try to be anyone else. Hey, what's up? Don't try to be anyone else when you come online. That's the mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people, when they come online, they think they gotta be some damn celebrity or something like that. Or they gotta try to be somebody that they're not. And that's where most people get lost in the sauce at. I'm the first one here. Oh, okay. You know, I don't think so, but happy to have you here. You know, a lot of people think when they come online, they get lost in the sauce because they think they gotta be somebody else. You know, because other people are telling them that they gotta sound like this, talk like that, dress like that, uh, uh, drive a car like that. You got to do everything that somebody else is telling you to be. You got to be everything the person is telling you to do. He or she is getting it from someplace else. But that same person, we love you, okay, I love you too, salute. But that same person that's telling you on social media that you're following, that you got to do this and do that, they basically getting that information from somebody else. And it's really not, it's not really true, really. The first thing you got to do is figure out who you are. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. You got to figure out who you are and who you want to be. And then you add on those things that other people are telling you to do. Like how to dress, how to walk, how to talk, how to speak. Yeah, all that's cool, Get a nice haircut or whatever, or change your hair up. All that stuff is cool. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people get lost and they think they gotta be some Don Juan Perignon, all the nonsense that a lot of people tell you. They think they gotta be rich when you come online to get something started. No. I came online and I didn't have any money to be in the beginning, to be honest. I didn't even have a cell phone when I came online. I had a computer with a camera that I bought at the time. It was a little camera like this, basically, and that's how I got started online. And I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't have no other skills. I didn't know how to build no websites. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. All I knew how to do is talk. That's it. And I stayed in an apartment at the time. It was just me, nobody else. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. And I didn't have no BMW or Mercedes Benz. No. As a matter of fact, yeah, I had a car. Yeah, I had a car. I'm thinking I didn't have a car back then. Yeah, I had a car, 1-bedroom apartment. That's it. And I used to do videos very similar to this. But I didn't have a lot of room back then. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. And I used to do videos in my living room. And I used to talk to people. And I didn't even could you do live? You couldn't do lives back then. At least not on YouTube anyway. Yeah, you couldn't do live videos. But I used to do videos. And I used to talk to the camera like I was sitting across from a human being at the bar or at the restaurant. Or I used to pretend like, hey, what would I say if my buddy was sitting across from me? If we were at the club or at the bar, or just kicking it or some shit like that. That's what I used to do. Now, it took me some time to get it down packed because you're talking to a camera, or you're writing down some notes, or you're doing an article for your blog or something like that. Nobody's there, so you have to get in a zone and pretend that if I was sitting down in front of this person, what would I say to them? That's what I did. That's what you have to do if you're online. You have to talk to people like a person, like a regular person. You don't gotta be a goddamn genius or anything like that. You don't gotta be Mr. Perfect. You don't gotta be Mrs. Perfect either. You just gotta be comfortable in your own skin, and people are going to feel that through the video, through the content. And the reason why a lot of people flop or people don't take notice to them is because people know when you're trying to be a fraud. They know when you're not comfortable in your own skin. And then a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't work. Well, the reason why it didn't work is because you were trying to be somebody else. That's why it didn't work. If you were focused on being you and not anyone else, well, maybe things would have worked out eventually. But a lot of people have the wrong approach because they're listening to people that, in most cases, haven't had any success online at all. You know, that's what usually happens. You know, people, most of the people that people are following, they haven't done anything. Zero. You know, you'd be surprised. People follow people online, and they haven't done anything. No proof of anything, no success, no wins, no nothing. But they're telling everybody else what they should be doing. And I'm like, bro, what? You know, I don't know. People are weird like that. But they think, some people say, oh, well, I relate to this person. Yeah, you might relate to them, but they haven't done anything. So why would you listen to anything that they're talking about? I'm like, damn, bro. That doesn't make no damn sense. But a lot of people are just like that. I think a lot of people just, it's probably better for them to relate to the other person more than anything else. Proof doesn't really matter as much as it used to. It seems like, you know, but I don't know. When I was coming up, proof meant something. Proof of concept meant something. You couldn't just walk up to somebody and start telling them what to do and tell them who you are, and they would automatically believe it. No, not when I was coming up. No, no. But I don't know. But you might disagree. You might say, hey, you know, you might say proof doesn't mean much. It's based on how this person makes me feel. You know, and that's okay too. You know, some people are like that. Some people feel like, oh, I have to, if I relate to this person, that's all it takes. Some people are like that. You know, I don't know. You know, but I learned this from my parents because, you know, my parents were, they had a lot of friends that knew a lot of people. And my mom was like, she was like a local celebrity. You know, I mean, still to this day, I can go around the Carolinas, and a lot of people would know who my mom was if I was to tell them. I don't do it, but if I was to do it, people would know her because she was kind of famous. She was a big deal back in the day, and that's because she treated everybody like they were a human being, regardless of their upbringing, how they was living, financial status, etc. She treated everybody like they were a human being first, before she got to know them. And she didn't judge very much, you know. So you have to do the same thing online. You know, a lot of people come online, they feel like they got to get brand new and become some brand new person. But that's a mistake, you know. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make. And hopefully you won't make the same mistake too. But hey, P.S. by the way, I got a brand new book out, The Cockroach Marketer, on Amazon.com. It's already a bestseller already. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come online and make some shit happen, this is the book, The Cockroach Marketer. This is going to help you. This is going to put you light years ahead of most people. This is going to give you direction that most people don't have, unfortunately. And hey, this is me on the back, by the way. I'm suited and booted with my hair sticking out, looking crazy and shit, you know. But why is tornadoes so familiar because it's so oh, that's way off topic. I don't know what. Gotta have them trolls in here, boy. My channel's about um, social media and being online, basically. Yeah, that's basically what it's about, really. And social media, being online, making money, creating content. That's what my channel is all about, really. You know what I'm saying? And it's so that's which is everything that I do in some, you know. So yeah, that's what my channel is all about, really. You know. So hey, I didn't really I didn't really want to stay on here too much longer today as usual. You know. So hey, hit that like button, like, share, subscribe. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.